Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the newsroom, you can't afford to miss it. Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the newsroom, you can't afford to miss it.
This is to inform the general public that the mentally derailed female person whose photograph shown on the screen left home since 12th May 2022 to unknown destination.
Pẹ̀lú oníṣòwò ńláńlá ẹjọ́ TV channel o lè jọjà yìí tàyẹ sọ fún wọn. OSBC lókè balẹ̀ yìí channel 32 UHF náà lè sọ. channel 32 UHF ẹgbẹ́ pọ́lọ́ ọjà wá síbẹ̀ wọn. OSBC channel 32 kí náà ṣe ibẹ̀ gan òjijì tún lè ṣàdùnrẹ́ ṣe ọmọ. wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ àsìkò ní àjọyọ̀ àjọyọ̀ àsìkò tó ń ṣàkóso ìlọ́gbọ̀n lọ́lọ́gọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àsìkò tó tún bàbá mú kiri. àṣẹ publicity fún business tí a jà lọ. ìwọ lọ rí wọn tún lè ṣàlùbà bọ̀ wọ́n. ṣòkòrò kí lókè balẹ̀ náà. ṣòkòrò kí lókè balẹ̀ náà. ìbẹ̀ náà wà tó ti ń dá bí ẹdùn tó ti ń rọ̀ bí òwe bàbá owó túndétúndé.
Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the newsroom, you can't afford to miss it.
Good afternoon, viewers at home. You are welcome to today's edition of our program in the newsroom, where we discuss issues bordering on national affairs, issues that has to do with politics, economy, education, and all the sectors of the country's economy. In today's edition of the program in the newsroom, we have 3 topics to discuss on the program today. The first one is related to politics, the current happenings in our political scene in the country. And it has to do with the current address by President Muhammadu Buhari to the APC governors, where he solicited their support so that he will be able to choose his own successor. This comment has been generating reactions from members of the public, so much so that a lot of questions are being asked. One of the prominent Nigerians whose voice is heard in this regard is the former former Nigeria's ambassador to Philippines, Dr. Yemi Farombi, where he was asking a question: is there democracy in Nigeria? This is what we are going to look at when we start the program. So the second topic, we have to look at the recent comment by INEC, where they electoral umpire was lamenting that about 20 million PVCs are still lying fallow in its kitty, uncollected. So if about 20 million PVCs are still lying fallow in the INEC office, then what does it portend for the upcoming general elections? Then thirdly, we are going to look at the comment by the NSAS, where is telling the federal government to compensate victims from culprits' salaries. All this we are going to look at in this program today. With me in the house to discuss the issue, I have Mr. Seyi Adesina with me here. Seyi, you are welcome.
Good afternoon. You guys are told.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you are welcome on the program.
Thanks so much.
We'll be discussing our program while we wait for two of our guests that are coming. We are expecting them. They are on their way. They will soon join us. Now, Seyi, let's start the program now. Buhari's address to APC governors. Is there democracy in Nigeria? That is coming from the former Nigerian ambassador to Philippines, Dr. Yemi Farombi. In your own view, is there democracy in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for this question. Actually, I asked the same questions a few days ago.
Okay.
When I read through the statement of Mr. President.
Okay.
Addressing APC governors that they should allow him to pick his successor. I was wondering that have you done election before now that you want to pick your successor?
Yeah.
That was the first question. And I asked myself, are we really practicing democracy in Nigeria? We said we borrowed democracy from America. Is it the way they played it? They placed over there. So we will now look at it that to be frank and to be honest, I want to believe that Ambassador Yemi Farombi, yes, it's very correct to ask that question, that are we practicing democracy in Nigeria? And I want to ask that, truly do we have democracy in Nigeria? Because if you look at it, in 2015,
yeah,
during the regime of the former President Jonathan, when he got to the stage during the coalition of results, as a matter of fact, the results has not been announced before he considered that he has defeated. So we can say that based on that, he has you say that's democracy in action.
Okay.
You say democracy in action. But with this latest development coming from a serving president, our President Muhammadu Buhari, want to believe that with every sense of modesty, our democracy needs to be queried. That we really practicing democracy, like our father, Ambassador Yemi Farombi has asked. So we want to believe that truly are we really practicing. Is that a democracy in Nigeria? Because I couldn't imagine a president that asking the governors that please, governors, after all, in your own state, you do pick your own who to take after you. So for this one, allow me to pick who should be my successor. And forgetting that when they started selling forms at the sum of 100 million. Which we discussed in these studios. Mr. President knew that he will be going somewhere. That will be picking somebody to be. So it would be better to have told them from the onset that guys, please don't bother to buy your form. I have my anointed person that will take after me. But now he now allowed over 20-something individuals. They've gone around the states or the whole country. When the delegate campaigning, those showcasing their agendas and the likes, and now just a few days to the primaries, you're not telling them that please allow me to pick. To me, that is not democratic in nature.
All right, so you thank you very much. Viewers at home, I have my other two guests are around now. Shola Ajiboye, you are welcome on the program.
Good afternoon.
Wale Olayemi, You're also welcome on the program. We've been expecting the two of you.
Traffic.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Now, the topic we are discussing before your arrival is the President Buhari's address to APC governors, where he was telling them to allow him to pick his successor. And this comment has been generating reactions. Mm-hmm. One of the reactions is from the former Nigerian ambassador to Philippines, Dr. Yemi Farombi, where he was asking that, is there democracy in Nigeria? Shola, let me put that question to you. Is there democracy in Nigeria with that comment coming from the president?
Well, democracy has so many features. So maybe, well, as far as the ideal global democracy is concerned,
okay.
It will not be correct to say we are operating a real democratic structure. Because when you talk about democracy, you are talking of the people, the choice of the larger majority of people, the collective opinion of people, not an individual or not a clique. So democracy is expected to toe the line of the collective, a kind of a collegiate decision. So in our wise, when in an ideal, we are talking of an ideal democratic norm, democracy, what we have now may not qualify for it. But there can be so many versions, there can be so many independent or ingenious versions for democracy. I mean, if you are the great Nnamdi Azikiwe once proposed diarchy, whereby we have a group of elected civilians ruling with the military. It can be called democratic in a way, but it may not represent the tenets of democracy. So somebody called for an interim administration of recent. There should be an interim administration to supervise a more sustainable democratic government. I mean, a transition to a government that will assuage the feelings of Nigerians. It can be called democratic, but in another definition. So when you're looking at democracy, you have to look at it from, of course, the global norm for democracy is there. But there can be some ingenious democratic systems that will respond to the exigencies of times. And of course, different nations will have different exigencies, different situations. So, but I still believe that we are practicing, and if you say we are practicing democracy along the American democratic culture or system, what the president the president is flying is undemocratic.
Thank you, Shola. Now, from there, I will ask Wale Olayemi this question. Wale, Shola has said now that there may be fashions of democracy depending on peculiarities. Now, with our own fashion, which we are seeing now, can we say, with that comment coming from the president, can we say that we are practicing democracy in Nigeria?
Well, to start with, if every other car that we see on the street, there's something that comes with it that we call manual. So if you sit down and study that manual very well, you will enjoy that car because the manufacturers must have prescribed so many things that will make the car to serve the buyer very well. So we went to the US to borrow the presidential system of government. It is not expected that we should copy it wholesale. We are expected to look at it and adapt it to the local situations and conditions. Having said that, there are certain things that are basic in what we want to copy. If we say we are running a federal representative democracy, it means that the basics that maybe every 5 years, every 4 years, there must be regular election, change of guard, and the president should have not more than 2 terms.
Yeah.
So these are the basic tenets inherent in what we went to the US to copy. Having said that, we cannot, in all honesty, say that maybe in trying to modify, then we turn what we are running entirely into something different from democracy. Because democracy talks about representation. It talks about people being given the opportunity to choose their leader. I could recollect that President Buhari was presented before the APC people, APC members in 2014. And he slugged it out with so many other competitors. So it wasn't a case of maybe the party will say it is Buhari, then everybody should go and sit down. But now it's unfortunate what we are seeing, that the president now called the governors. The governors, good, they are critical stakeholders in our democratic project. But everything does not stop at the box of at the table of the governors. What about the people in the world? The leaders in the world, the leaders in the local government level, the state. It means they will count for nothing. What about hundreds of people that we have in the House of Representatives, the Senate? And the president is talking about is driving at consensus. For me, I think it is totally uncalled for. Because that consensus will give him the opportunity to solely pick a candidate. It's undemocratic. It's not acceptable.
All right, Wale, thank you. Sheyi, let me come back to Sheyi. From what Wale has said, we went to America to copy this presidential system. But Wale was talking about adaptation. The way we have adapted that presidential system to our own situation here, can it serve us? Can it really benefit us?
Yes, it can, provided we are ready to do it the way they are doing it over there.
Okay.
Because I could remember last election in the US, Trump, was elected. He doesn't want to relinquish power. He got to a stage that he has to, he incited people, the Americans, to go and disrupt the process, the coalition process. And the vice president was in that meeting. And after the rally session for like over an hour or 2 hours, they conferred again to continue the process. And the vice president said something, that today he is the vice president of America, not vice president to Trump. And that the constitution of this great nation supersede any other thing. That we respect the constitution and we continue this process. So it shows that they respect their constitution, they respect that democracy, and they owe it to high esteem. So if we borrow it from them, but we are not doing the same way. A few days ago, the national vice chairman of the APC, accused the chairman that is running a one-man show that is not carrying anybody along, and that is not democracy. Everybody needs to be carried along. Everybody needs to know what is going on within the party, and the party belongs to every member, not an individual, not even the president. And let me quickly chip in this one. Not until we remove the political party, from the hands, from the caprice of the president of the governor, being the leader of the party. We see we're having this same crisis in our democracy, because the president is the president of the country, the governor is the governor of the state, and at the same time is the leader of the party, and whatever he says is the final.
All right, Sheyi. Shola, from what Sheyi has said now, do you really think that the overwhelming power being wielded over and above the party by either the president or the governor? If you compare it to the time of First Republic, what do you have to say?
You know, I've said this once on this program that you know the tragic flaw of this republic is the fact is the subsuming of party supremacy by the ruling executive. You see, even in the days of the MPN, I remember that in the days of the MPN, the party wielded supreme power.
Yes.
You know, whenever a meeting of the party caucus was held, and Adisakile was the chairman of the party who would preside, even the president, Shehu Shagari, would sit among the members of the floor. That was party, different from government. But we now have a total revision or a total reversion of it. We now have a situation where the party is in the pocket of the governor or a few cabal. So, and what happens when a party is subsumed by the government? It means that even the manifesto, the mandate of the party, on which the person rose to power, can be manipulated, can be eroded, can be discarded, because the party has no power over him. In the days of the AWO, even of course, that was a better run administrative system. The party was so powerful, and anybody elected on the platform of the party that fails to implement the mandate or the manifesto of the party is gone. It's a goner. I mean, we had a parliamentary system where you have to justify the wishes of the people of your constituents right from the ward level to maybe to local level, and you can be removed. You can be removed as minister from the parliament. Now, right now, we have a kind of super ministers who, unfortunately, don't even know how to run their ministries. That is why we have failure, trailing administration of this country at every level.
All right.
So until we have the party in power, the party actually controlling the machinery. I mean, the parties are separated from the executive in terms of power play and control.
Okay.
Then we continue to have this kind of mistakes.
All right. Thank you, Shola. Wale, from the point raised by Shola, how can we go back to the good old days when the party were the ones that were calling the shot in our democratic system?
Well, nothing is impossible. But I think the road that we have taken since 1999, if you look at that trajectory, you discover that things are moving from bad to worse. Because you discover that this idea of governors, president being leader of the party is alien to us. It's very alien to us. Like Shola has said, during the UPN, MPN days, the Second Republic, whenever there was a meeting, maybe a caucus or whatever of the MPN, you know who's in charge? Is Chief Meredith Adisakile.
Yes.
Fully in charge. And on that top table, you will never see Alhaji Shehu Shagari there. So it means that there's a balance of power. Because the chicken cannot be greater than the mother hen. One produces the other. So it is imperative that we begin to recognize the function of the party in a democracy. If you are a governor, if you are a member of the House of Assembly, member of the House of Representatives, senator, you are a product of the party. The party birthed you. It's not as if you just, it's not on like maybe America where there's room for independent candidacy. We don't have that in our constitution. So you must be a member of a political party. And there's no way, even as a governor, that you ought to or you should be greater than all other members of the party.
All right.
Because it's a political party.
Okay, all right. Wale, thank you very much. We'll go on short break now, viewers at home. We'll come back shortly after this time out. Don't go away. Viewers at home, you are welcome back on the program. Now to the second topic of our discussion for today. 2023, about 20 million PVCs uncollected. INEC. See, if 20 million PVCs are still lying fallow at INEC, what does it portend for the coming election?
It tells us that we are not yet ready for good governance. Most especially, I want to take this responsibility this afternoon because on many occasions I've challenged Omoba that their generation are the one that put our own generation into trouble. But I want to, this afternoon I will take that responsibility because it seems that I read through the statement from the INEC.
Okay.
Trying to encouraging youth that we should try to get our PVC, and because of our number, I want to quote one of the statements. He said, he said before we can only see youth, the younger ones, once in a while on the internet, but now they are there permanently on social media, and that there is no polling unit on social media, there is no police center on social media, but unfortunately we seems not to get it right. I mean, my own generation, and not until we are ready to, take this battle, take our destiny to our hand, and do what is right. Because 20 million PVCs, it's a lot of number that can make a very good turnaround. Like I said, the kind of candidate aspirant that have been going around the country to showcase what they want to do, we among them we still have very good ones that can do something better. But we are so much concerned about the APC and the PDP, forgetting other political parties. But the bottom line is that number is too much. It's huge, and it shows that there is still we have very long way to go if we want good governance in our country.
All right, thank you. Shola, 20 million PVCs lying fallow, uncollected. Are you not worried?
Of course, I am. One thing, one thing that strikes me is that we have so many political parties. I don't know how many of them now. There are so many of them, and if the multi-crowd of political parties, if you can have that kind of number, and yet these political parties cannot work on the electorate to actually give focus and attention or love to collecting voter cards, then I wonder what kind of democracy these political parties will send their way. It shows that this is why we have two major political parties. Despite their flaws, irresponsibilities, and all these nauseating things that we hear about the two of them, they are still the major political parties because the other parties are not serious. Even if they can mobilize the people, okay, collect your PVC and vote for us. If they can mobilize people, collect your PVCs and vote for us, it will make a significant difference. You wouldn't have this kind of number being declared by INEC, and yet we claim to be struggling to have a democracy system. How do we have it? And even on the part of INEC, well, I know INEC has I think they have a department of voter education or whatever.
Voter education.
I wouldn't know what efforts or what the level of commitment and work that this department has done to ensure that Nigerians are significantly drawn to arming themselves with voters card. Because if you don't have a voters card, then you just continue to shout. Many people, even many of us, even the elites, we take pride in writing and shouting at rooftops on incompetent leadership, whereas we don't even have any voter card to even go and vote. How many of us have voted in the last maybe 10 or 15 years that we have the process? I know I have voted, but how many of people like me have voted? So it is saddening that we have that kind of number of cards uncollected. in a country that we think should develop its democratic system. You can't develop your democratic system this way if people don't come out and vote. How do you ensure that democracy thrives?
All right. Thank you, Shola. Wale, let me put this to you. Now, from what Shola said, it means that the political parties also have the responsibility in the area of enlightenment and education of voters. Now, with this development, can we say that the parties have failed in their responsibilities?
Well, a lot of things will surely be responsible for the parties' inertia.
Okay.
Because things are so bad now that every other member of the political party, they've been sort of brought to a level whereby anything they want to do is strictly for cash. So now nobody is into, if you're a member in those days of a political party, you pay as a member, you contribute as a member. They won't force you, but when you need something, that ledger, they will go back to it and look at it as it being a financial member of a party. But in a situation whereby virtually all those who call themselves members of political parties, particularly at the lower ranks, all they do is what is in need for me. So that would really pose as a big challenge. But even when you have a campaign organization here and there, at least maybe one or two will have been charged with that responsibility. Please go here and there, ancestors are people, because like Inshallah mentioned, even the so-called smaller parties, they are lazy. Even these youths that we are talking about that they are on social media, they should seize that opportunity, network, get them together, go to the people in the market and tell them that this your voter's card can elect a governor that you believe can do better than A or B. But now if you don't collect it, it's there with INEC, then it gives ample opportunity to the person there or somebody there that can spend big money. And that's why when you see the results, 150,000 in a population of maybe millions, that's not good for us. It gives room for manipulation. People can easily manipulate when the figures are not huge. And it presents an opportunity to the small parties. They don't need to spend money, just do your legwork. People are your members in the ward, go and knock on doors. Please, we are social people, we are from party XYZ. We want to tell you that democracy cannot thrive if we don't collect our PVC. That it is not for us to just be complaining that this government is bad, this is diesel. Let's pick our PVC so that on the day of the election we can unite, particularly the youths can unite and say no, let us, for instance, if the youth pick a particular person as governor, under a free and fair atmosphere, the person will win. But those people who are supposed to give him that vote, they've not collected their PVC. So they are on Twitter, they are on WhatsApp.
All right,
Wale,
thank you. Now, let me come back to Sheyi, still on the matter. 20 million PVCs uncollected by their owners. I think to me it's a kind of apathy. Then how do we address this problem in our political system?
I think media also has a very huge role also to play in this regard. We need to sensitize our people, reason why they must collect their PVC, reason they must vote. because we cannot continue complaining, lamenting, ranting. Oba said we are on the younger generation, they are on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Yes, but that is not enough. I think shortly after EndSARS protest, I wrote an article trying to encourage my colleagues, my contemporaries, please, the tempo at which we demonstrate during that EndSARS, that we can still bring out something good, and we should not lower the tempo. That we should leverage on that tempo to tell the public that we can do it. We have the number, we have everything. So media need to also, and INEC. I want to believe INEC is, though they are trying, but they can still do better in trying to tell people to collect their PVC and why they must do that, because it's their own civic, and to say this, most of even the elite, you only collect this card maybe to use it in bank or to any thing. Don't even what it's meant for. You don't take it so serious.
All right, Shola, your view on additional view on how to address this problem.
I think the maybe starting after the election, after the election in July or whatever, I think a kind of a nationwide, a comprehensive campaign should be embarked upon. And that would be a synergy of INEC, the Civil Liberties Organization, the NUJ, the political parties, all the political parties. They should have a kind of maybe an interconference whereby certain resolutions will be adopted, and then which will mandate all the stakeholders in the electoral system to embark on mass mobilization and orientation of Nigerians on the need to have voters card, because that is the weapon. That's the weapon of political change. You can only change a system by voting.
Yeah, thank you. So, Wale, apart from what Shola has said on the step to be taken to address the problem, what other things can Nigerians do, or can we do, in order to address this issue?
Finally, it is important that we restore the confidence of our people in our democratic process.
Okay.
Because that is part of the problem. A lot of people will tell you, forget them, they know the next person that they will put there. And don't worry, we don't need that card. Some people say we just wanted those to even take it, so that maybe they can ask their son or daughter in school, bring a photocopy of your mother or your dad's PVC. That is a civic obligation and things like that. So beyond that, we need to earn the confidence of the majority of Nigerians that their votes will count.
Okay.
That's a very, very germane thing to do.
Okay.
Because that's at least, it is almost 50% of the problem. You say, don't worry. When the election comes, they will distribute money. People will vote for them. Why are you bothering yourself?
Why are you bothering yourself?
Why must you go and collect the fees? So it's part of the problem.
All right, thank you. We'll go on short break again. We'll come back after this time out. Stay tuned.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Now to the last topic for our discussion on the program for today. There's a comment from the EndSARS chairman recently where I was telling the federal government to compensate victims from corporate salaries. See, is it logical to compensate the victims of the victims of police brutality through the salaries of the culprits?
Very, very logical. As a matter of fact, I was in that gathering, that event when the chairman made that address.
Okay.
And luckily, he was he's a former, he's a retired justice.
Okay.
A retired judge.
Yeah.
So, and for him to have said that, I 100% in tandem with what he said.
Okay.
Because taking into cognizance the level of police brutality is somehow, in fact, you can now see the recent one that just happened 2 days ago, you know, where one of the journalists was shot and one other lady girl. So I think because the man said if as a police officer, if you know that if you misbehave, if you do anything against what the rule of engagement, your salary will be taken, or part of your pension will be taken to take care of any event or any offense you've committed. Okay. So I think that also will try to be a kind of caution, you know, to that particular police officer. I think, to me, I agree with him 100% that if there's if the government can formulate any policy that will be drawn from the salary of any police officer that misbehave or that, you know, do against what he has been assigned to do, I think it's okay. By me, it's okay.
All right, Shola, compensating the victims of brutality through the salaries of the culprit. How long can it go in assuaging the?
Because when I'm very happy that you said how long can it go, because it is good to recommend, to make a recommendation, and it's another thing for that recommendation to see to schedule the through tests and and to endure. Okay. You know, again, before I think the problem of the police will have to be taken from the roots.
Okay.
You know, I'm in line with that. That, you know, that will so in such a way, in some ways caution all these trigger happy policemen. But again, when you look at even the way the police operations are carried out, the policeman himself, the police college he attended, the orientation he has, all these things have a kind of cumulative negative influence on the conduct and attitude of the policeman, of an average policeman. An average policeman has sort of resigned him or herself to a culture of corruption and bribery. And as long as this culture persists, we have problems of police brutality, of extrajudicial killings, and all manner of crimes.
Okay.
So, why such a suggestion is welcome, I think government will have to go fundamental.
Okay.
Because the problems of the police is so fundamental. And it has to do with the recruitment of policemen.
Yeah, okay. The process of
recruitment. Even there was an expose on channels some years back on the police college in Lagos. You can see the human condition of police recruits. Those who are supposed to be to be civilized law enforcement agents. You see the way they were treated, the situations they were subjected to. They will come out and become more criminal. They have become just like criminals. They are supposed to to apprehend. So you cannot see a British trained policeman behaving irrationally. No, because you are probably both of you are classmates in the university. Both of you must have been roommates. Maybe in Harvard, in London, in Oxford. Yes. So there is virtually no difference between a civilian because when I say it's civil, and a policeman. As a matter of fact, you, not a policeman, would love to put on the uniform of a British policeman. When you see him, you see the way he dresses, the way he addresses you. He's as civilized, if not more civilized than you. But we don't have that kind of situation in Nigeria here. So this is why policemen, a number of them misbehave. Okay. They are naturally, maybe they have been naturally trained to misbehave. I don't know. They misbehave. A policeman holding a gun and shooting at a defenseless civilian that he is supposed to protect. So how do you now relate that to police duty?
Right.
There's no
compensation to victims through the salaries of the culprits. If we begin to do this, you see, there are some damages that may not be quantifiable with money. Then in that case, what do we do?
Well, I think, like Ishola said, the recruitment process have been issued is faulty. Because even in the army, we are talking about people that talks about injecting people into the army. And they lower the standard. So that was bad. So it means it's going to give room for people you call Boko Haram guys who have repented. They've been radicalized. So they can now put on the Nigerian Army uniform with guns to go and complete the job they were stopped from doing. So as far as the police is concerned, it's the way it relates to the public is terrible. It doesn't see itself as a civil force. The mere fact that they carry gun does not give them the license to just shoot at will. But when you look at it, the condition under which he was trained was not just appalling, but it was downright inhuman. Then he got on the job, they always send him to the roadside to collect money. And when you see them there, they will be reeking of alcohol early in the morning, almost drunk. So you are at your own, it's at your own risk if you engage such a drunk policeman. He will be more than happy to pull the trigger and just finish the civilian, bloody civilian. So all these are issues that somebody was saying the other time that they don't have what you call regular training in the police. That's another thing. That's terrible. In other climes, in same climes, you see young people looking forward to joining the police force, leaving college, leaving the university, to join the police. It's a lifetime ambition that I want to be a policeman. When you see some of our policemen dressed, in fact, some will wear you the uniform and you see them wearing the true slippers. Quite shameful. So it is the way the Yorubas would say, it's the way that you present yourself, that's the way people will address you.
Okay. Thank you, Wale. Now, before we round off, Sheyi, your final remark on how we can foster better relationship between the police and the people.
I think that should come first from the police.
Okay.
Take for example, yesterday, I wrote on my Facebook page that I have to register my display. Okay. What happened on 2 days ago, that one police officer shot at one of our colleagues. Yesterday, all of them, they were, I think, the NUJ side, and the police were invited, to come and say their story at one of the radio stations. Yeah. Could you believe police didn't make themselves available? The uncle gave an excuse that the commissioner of police is somewhere, is on his way to Abuja. That even the PRO that's supposed to represent the command, that's so is in the meeting. So it shows that we don't see what what one of their men has done as something that is bad. So to foster that relationship to come first from the police, that come, we are trained to protect you, to guide you, to maintain law and order.
Okay.
So that if that's start from them, so also the community also will join, the society will also join them to foster that relationship.
All right, thank you. Shola, your final remark.
Yes, you know the Yorubas are want of saying that money
Okay.
I know that the orientation of the average Nigerian police is so bad. You know, he has been trained majorly to misbehave. So, but a policeman should have his own. A policeman now should even develop his own concept that should I just be killing people? Am I not supposed to protect this man? Why should I be taking bribes? Why should I be committing crimes when I'm supposed to be a law enforcement agent? So I think every policeman should search his or her conscience, so that he can change the orientation, the bad orientation he had.
Okay.
So that's my own.
Thank you, Shola. Wale, your final comment.
Okay. I want to align with what Shola just said.
Okay.
He said that during the answers, I saw one officer, a soldier, relating with civilians. I couldn't believe it. He calmed everybody down, saying, we are serving you. They were taunting them, "Yeah, shoot your gun." He said, "No, the gun, your fathers, brothers, mothers pay for this gun, and they don't give us to kill you, just to maintain law and order. So please, this whatever that we have put here, this barricade, don't go beyond it." And everybody, you know, he very fine officer, very fine human being, you know, and that will be as a result of the training he has gotten and his level of education and exposure. So when you populate a force with nincompoops, miscreants, it's unfortunate that even within the lower ranks of the police, you see people who are criminals. It happened during the Tafa Balogun days, and it happened recently. Some people, as somebody will say, I know of some guys who are thugs who are now in the police.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program today. Sheyi, thank you. I appreciate your comment. Shola, thank you very much.
Sorry for coming late.
Yeah, Wale, thank you for being able to make it.
Thank you very much.
Viewers at home, thank you for staying tuned with us since the commencement of this program. Tomorrow is another day when you join my colleague in the newsroom again. I remain yourself, your sincerely, Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.